Okay, obviously there's a lot of stuff going around right now, and everybody's concerned about kind of quarantining themselves. And I was trying to think about what's the best way to kind of convey information without sounding alarmist. And as it turns out, Andy, that you may have met on a previous video of mine that I interviewed with Next Level the Gamers Den, was also kind of having the same thought. So he invited me out to a store, and we put something together to share some information for both stores and for players. Because the more we think about it, not everybody's going to stay home. You're going to get cabin fever. You're going to just want to get out for a little bit. There's still ways to go interact with your game stores, but still be very safe. From a store perspective, first and foremost, it's all about cleanliness. Making sure you're wiping down your restrooms, cleaning them multiple times a day. Also, making sure that everything is well stocked. Paper towels, soaps, whatever you keep to keep stuff clean, make sure you have plenty of it. Also, a neat little trick. If you actually make sure to leave the door cracked open, you can also minimize people having to touch the handle, where they can just use their foot to open the door, and then hopefully when they're coming out, they've already washed their hands, so the inside handle stays clean on its own. Also on the topic of cleanliness, hard surfaces hold a lot of the recent problem, we'll call it that. I think I'll get in trouble if I mention specific things on YouTube. There's stuff behind it. Anyway, you want to make sure your hard surfaces especially stay clean. So that's like door handles, tabletops, that type of stuff. You can use pretty much any type of cleaner that's in the Clorox or Lysol line of products, and those tend to kill nearly 100% of everything it's on. So make sure to wipe those down. And when you're wiping surfaces down, you want to wipe your tables first and then your chairs. Do not forget to wipe off your chairs. I think it's something that kind of goes unwritten sometimes and we just forget, but make sure that stays clean. Another tip that's good for both players and stores. Stores, try to promote ways for your customers to contact you where they don't necessarily have to come in and do a lot of shopping. Say your website links, set up something there, or when you have a new release that's still showing up, send out some email blurbs or something so customers can be aware without having to come visit your store. And as a player, maybe you just call the store and do your purchase over the phone or through their website, and then you just can come pick it up, and that'd be cool. Maybe the store can do curbside pickup, or maybe just have a table set up so when you come in, you just check a receipt and boom, you're out the door. And that minimizes the time you actually have to be in the store. That said, obviously a lot of stores are cutting their events. If you choose to still have events, make sure you're keeping them small. I would even recommend cutting off entry fees after a few points, just to make sure that you're not gathering a huge crowd. Now, some stores have in-store gaming on consoles and whatnot. Make sure you're wiping down the controllers when they come in and when they go out. Or as a player, think about bringing your own controller. It's a way to kind of control how many people are touching it, and you know it's clean because it came from you. Oh, and here's one for players that we should probably quit doing anyway, but don't blow on your dice when you roll them. Like, you're just passing germs around for no reason, even when we're not under a crisis situation. Just not something we need to be doing. Stop it. Though, it's good to bring your own dice. And especially right now, you don't necessarily be handling somebody else's dice that somebody else may have handled and they've just lived in their dice bag for a while. Just bring your own. Now, when you're shopping at game stores, you do like to read the backs of products and whatnot just to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. If you have to be picking stuff up off the shelf that you don't plan to purchase or you change your mind, walk it up to the counter and hand it to an employee. That way they can get it wiped down and get it back onto the shelf. This will minimize the spreading of germs and still let you research the products as you want. But also keep in mind, you shouldn't be handling 20, 30 things on the shelf. Another quick tip. When entering and exiting a building, you can minimize the handling of doorknobs and whatnot by hooking your hand or arm into any type of crossbar or something that's there if it's a pull door, or if it's a push door, just lightly lean on it with your shoulder or your back, and then that allows you to get in without having to actually touch things. And let's be fair, we already make jokes about gamer hygiene. Now is not the time to mess around. If you can't keep yourself clean, don't go to a store, stay at home. If anything, now is the time to double down on it. Another good gamer tip. For several of you that play especially tabletop card games, You like to share phones or tablets that have score pads for multiple people at the table. Let's not do that. Like, phones already get very dirty, and we have a bad habit of not cleaning phones as it is, and we don't need everybody touching one person's phone. So, everybody, at least for the time being, bring your own tracking device for your life totals or score, or whatever it is you need to have. We don't need to be relying on one person right now. Now, in this time, we're all trying to keep ourselves safe and not really try to crowd too much. So I'm not saying avoid your game stores. I'm not saying go down and hang out a ton during your downtime now that we're all working from home. But just be responsible about it. If you just want to get out and play one or two people and that's the best place for you to meet, great, go do that. These are just tips you can follow to make sure you know that it's still safe to go to your game store. Your game stores are still keeping things nice and clean, and you can kind of help keep them in business during this time where they may be struggling. These are our homes as gamers and places we like to support. So, yeah, do what you can to support them. Maybe that's mail order, maybe it's ordering through their website, or like I said, just quick pickups. But overall, be clean more than anything else and be safe.